What the actual fuck? That is insane!
Welcome to Esperance, Western Australia's slice of paradise. Known for its crystal clear beaches, stunning lakes and rugged coastline. I'm about to road trip from Perth to Esperance to explore it all on a backpacker's budget. And I'm gonna take you along so you can find out how you can experience the best of Esperance without killing your bank account. I took the inland route to Esperance, and after a night at McCann Rocks, one of the best free campsites I've ever stayed at, it was time to visit Wave Rock, one of the very few attractions on the rather boring inland drive to Esperance.
Alright, here we go, on the way to Wave Rock. Just got a parking ticket, and it's $12 for 90 minutes. I thought it was $12 to just like have access to this place, and I was like, oh, fair enough, $12 is alright, but it's $12 per 90 minutes. That means if you want to see the rock and then after that have a picnic with your kids or whatever, you sure gotta extend your parking time. And also it's $12 per car with a maximum of 4 people, so they're taking the piss definitely. But I guess this is what I can do because this is the only real thing that you can see between here and Esperance really on like a 700-kilometer journey. Sweet! This is it. This is Wave Rock.
15 meters tall and 110 meters wide. Wave Rock is not only stunning to look at with its iconic shape and interesting color pattern. The 2,700 million years old granite formation has also long been a significant peak in the folklore of the local indigenous people. Once you're done exploring the bottom of Wave Rock, take the stairs up to walk on top of it and enjoy the views, as it is the only vantage point in the area.
Look at this, so cool. Pretty much on the way to the highest point of Wave Rock. I thought it was just like a wave and there's this one wave structure thing and then it's kind of done. But it's massive. I love it, and there's no one here because people are just too lazy or not fit enough. Like, this is few people that are here, and apparently because it's Monday, it's my lucky day, there's no one here. I met this couple, had a quick chat with them, and they said yesterday it was just packed with so many people, but not today. I want to say I wouldn't change my itinerary if I hadn't seen the coast of Western Australia down south of Perth, but because I have already, the inland route just makes more sense, and it's definitely worth to stop here because you have a great view as well. I didn't know you could climb up Wave Rock as well. If you're on that inland route, it takes you past Wave Rock anyways. Definitely go here. It's pretty cool. But there's one more thing in the area that I want to try out, and that is the salty swimming pool salt lake. I think it's called Lake Magic.
Yes, I know, it looks like a construction site, but floating in the Lake Magic salt pool is definitely an interesting and very strange sensation. Leaving the salty swimming pool behind, it was time for me to give the old Honda a few more hours of boring ass highway driving until I finally made it to Esperance.
I finally made it to Esperance, and the first stop of today is Pink Lake, which is right around here, and it's not so pink anymore.
Sadly, the loss of pink color is once again a consequence of human interference in nature. In order to maintain that pink color, any pink lake needs a high concentration of salt as breeding ground for an algae that's called Dallaniella salina and a specific bacteria which grows on the salt crust. Due to human interference, the water flow in this pink lake changed, disabling the algae and bacteria to produce the beta-carotene that's needed to turn the lake pink. However, soon I got to see something that couldn't be more colorful. I was expecting to see blue water and white beaches, as this is pretty much Esperance's strongest USP. Was I prepared for what I got to see when showing up at Blue Heaven Beach? Not at all. Trying to find a vantage point, I walked up the big rock next to the beach.
It's insanely windy, so the audio will not pick up on this, but there's like a little hole in the rock or something, and I'm thinking of going over there, just like sit down and relax and being a bit shaded from the wind. So should we try that? Let's go.
The hole in the rock turned out to sit too high up to climb in, so I decided to check out Esperance town center for a little while instead, before ending the day with a rather impressive scenery at Long Beach.
It is the second morning in Esperance and I'm just at Dempster Head lookout, which I'm gonna go up in just a second, and I'm sitting in my car because it's crazy windy out there. It was really windy this night, so windy in fact that when I had my rooftop tent up and I was in the rooftop tent, I felt like the car was just kind of tipping over from the wind and the whole thing was just shaking, and I didn't really sleep. I probably slept about 4 hours or so last night, so I feel a bit rough this morning. But anyways, let's go up the lookout point and take a better look over Esperance.
Dempster Head is not necessarily gonna wow you, but it offers good views all around. Further, it's the starting point of a few really nice shorter walks, all of which give you good views over the coastline without needing to hike for hours.
It is just amazing, really. And I know you get crazy blue beaches and stuff like that in Thailand too, but it's just a mix. You have this like kind of light blue teal water, and then you have this really dark blue water over there, and this is what you wouldn't get in Thailand. Oh, that's nice. For a little picnic area. I mean, ooh, Jesus Christ. This is so crazy. That blue water is so hard to describe, and I keep banging on about it, but Jesus.
Hellfire Bay became my go-to swimming and hang by the beach spot in my time in Esperance. Don't be fooled though, the water looks inviting, but it is definitely cooler than it looks.
It's another day in Esperance, and while the weather was pretty good the last 2 days, it's absolutely ridiculously bad today. It's windy, it's cold, it's been shit all night, so not very enjoyable all morning really. So this is why I spent my time in the library, and now I'm gonna do another indoor activity, which is pretty much my go-to activity every time I get to a city and the weather is bad, and that is museum. So I read it up online. The Esperance Museum actually seems kind of decent, so why not give it a shot? So let's drive over from the library to the museum, do some indoor activity, and hope that once we get out, the weather is a bit better.
Well, how to review Esperance Museum? It's definitely a good shout when bad weather suggests something indoors. The display pieces feel, however, a little randomly thrown together at times, with war machinery next to cutlery and steam trains. But this just seems the case with quite a few of these small town museums in New Zealand and Australia. Since I had booked 2 nights at the Cape Legrand campground, I headed over into the national park, hiding from the wind in the camp kitchen on the first evening.
I looked at a weather map, and I think we're right now in kind of the windiest part of Australia for the moment, because there's this big ass kind of thunderstorm that's just down at the south coast, and Esperance is pretty much where the wind is the strongest in all of Australia right now. So that's not going to help with my audio, but anyways, the nature here is so good. It's so nice, and you can already guess that the beach there is amazing on a sunny day. You really can see all the colors and everything. But I'm not here to go to the beach. I'm here to do some hiking, and this is why I'm right now on my way to Little Hellfire Bay, and I think it's about 10 kilometers or so hike just along the Cape Legrand coastal trail, they call it, which goes all the way to Lucky Bay, but that's far too far. That's about a 9 hours walk one way, so that is too much for us today.
The weather was pretty unpredictable, with sun and rain alternating within minutes. Meandering through this pristine landscape though, the coastal trail I would still absolutely recommend, partly just for this one moment that will catch you very off guard.
What the actual fuck? Jesus, this is so white. Look at the sand. Oh my god. It kind of just popped up.
Hellfire Bay. Walking over that crest, seeing the scenery unfold, certainly takes a spot among my very best moments in Australia.
That is insane! And after yesterday being so super rainy and overcast and just shit, seeing this, seeing the colors.
It's ridiculous.
I didn't expect that, honestly. I mean, I knew I was going to see some crazy beaches, but after this walk, which was nice, but it was only green and brown because of rocks and bushes and stuff. What the heck? It's crazy. Alright, so that shit is coming over quickly, and I think there's a bit of a shelter over there at the end of the cove. So let's try to get there before those dark clouds come and get us. Also, I had to put up my sunglasses because the sand here is so wide, it will actually give you a freaking whiteout. We're halfway now, and I can feel that the rain's coming. That ain't good. So better run now, I guess. So I waited out some of the rain at this little shelter kind of spot at Hellfire Bay, and now I'm on my way to a little Hellfire Bay, which is, well, a smaller version of Hellfire Bay right next to it. It's about 40 minutes return. A beautiful little walk again. Not really difficult because it's all kind of paved. I guess we're just going down there. But I've got to say, the weather is super unpredictable, and like it makes it really hard to film. I wanted to get the drone up because it looked sunny, and just when I wanted to start it, it started dripping, and I looked up and there was this massive cloud coming in. For now, let's check out Little Hellfire Bay, and maybe that gives us a little opportunity to get the drone up. And even if not, we just enjoy the walk and enjoy the nature here. Right, so this is Little Hellfire Bay, and this is the way to Thistle Cove. So, because I don't really know what to do Cape Legrand because the weather isn't too good, so I'll basically just be waiting around there. Why not go all the way to Thistle Bay? I don't know, to be honest, if I'm gonna complete this one, because I also need to go back all the way past this one, the other one, over the saddle point there, and on the other side, that's where the Grand Campground is. That's quite a long way. But anyways, let's see how far my feet carry me.
After playing around those hollow boulders like a little kid, I decided I had walked enough for the day and headed back the way I came.
It is ridiculous how the sun transforms this beach, transforms the color
In the water. It's insane.
Also, this sand is some of the whitest and finest sand I've ever seen. It's insane. It's so fine, like you can't even really see the sand kind of kernels or corns or whatever you want to call them.
Alright, one last look at this incredible beach.
Hellfire Bay.
After some 6 hours of hiking, I very much felt my feet in the end, but at least the weather started to look a little more promising.
It's another day in Cape Legrand National Park, and we're not done yet with hiking because I've got another one planned for today, which is this one, Frenchman Peak, just over there. And I thought it was going to be a full-on day hike, just like kind of hiking to just walking to the bottom of Frenchman Peak and then climbing up the peak. But there's actually a car park right here, just a 5 minutes walk from here. So I think rather than a day hike, this is probably a 2 or so hours activity. Alright, I guess this is where the rock climbing part starts. Pathway just ended there. So from now on, it's just walking over the rocks.
If you like hiking, Frenchman's Peak should be on your list, because walking up the steep slope is an experience.
Look at it. Visibility isn't too great because the weather isn't too great, but that's not too bad for a little morning hike, morning activity.
That's nice. Alright, what's around there? It's another cave. Oh, that looks so sick. Just wait for it. It's awesome. Dude, how cool's that? It's like a full-on cave.
You could literally just camp in here. Wow. This is awesome. Jesus. Fuck.
Also, Frenchman's Peak stands a little on its own, meaning you get stunning, unblocked views of the area around. However, prepare for some serious wind when you get your drone up. It's not gonna like that. After checking out the cave once more, it was time to tackle the rather steep way down, which, due to the immense grip of the granite, isn't dangerous but really taxing on your knees and joints. And then it was time for the big one. Kangaroos at Lucky Bay, maybe WA's most common postcard motif and certainly the bucket list shot for every photographer coming to the Esperance region. Often regarded as one of the whitest or even whitest beach of Australia, Lucky Bay is certainly a stunner. However, since it is so famous, you'll have to share that site with a lot of other tourists. Make sure you pick a sunny day, as the sunlight hitting the beach and the water really transform what you get to see.
One more thing that you can have a look at if you're a tourist in the area, and that is
Stonehenge.
of course not that Stonehenge. It's an exact replica that a farmer who owns the land here put up, and you can see just a tiny bit over there. However, it is quite pricey to get in, to just have a look around. I think it's like $12 or so.
Well, luckily, I've got a drone.
So let's get the drone up and check out the Australian Stonehenge.
Yes, I know it's a bit sneaky, but I just couldn't be bothered to pay those $12 to just walk around the Stonehenge replica for like a minute or so. Once you gave the fake Stonehenge a look, check out Lucky Bay Brewery as probably the last thing on your list, and have one of their beers and some food while enjoying the Australian sun.
That's a wrap. My 5 days in Esperance have come to an end, and that means now I'm getting in my car and then I'm gonna cross the Nullarbor for the next 2 or so days to get over to South Australia, leaving Western Australia for the first time in about 5 months.
And I'm super excited, so let's hop in the car and let's go. That's it, the Nullarbor. I was waiting for that sign for so long.
I'm currently in the Mount Remarkable National Park, and it is actually a plane package. I'm really so happy that I found out about like Narrowfoot caves and that this whole thing even existed, because it's one of the places that is not on everybody's map for activities here in South Australia.